On Saturday, August 9th, 2025, we have this month's full moon happening in the sign of Aquarius, and it's all about breaking free and liberating ourselves and, allowing our authentic truth to come out. So if you're ready to liberate yourself and do something different and allow your inner weirdo to come out, then this full moon's the one for you. As always, full moons are about things being illuminated and revealed, and it's a time of past manifestations coming to fruition. And so it's a culmination moment, but it's also a really powerful time of release and letting go of those things that no longer serve us and releasing those things that are no longer aligned. Full moons are the peak moment in the lunar cycle, where it's a time of, emotions running high, and it's a time of high energy, and our intuition feels more strong, and our insights just feel more powerful. With this full moon happening in the sign of Aquarius, keep in mind that Aquarius is that sign of the rebel and the innovator and the inventor, and it's a very cerebral, mental, abstract thinking sign. And it's a very future-oriented sign that is also associated with inspiration and community and our networks and this unconventional wisdom. And in the zodiac, it is the water bearer, so it's a very human sign, and it's actually probably the most human. It's the sign of the humanitarian, but being the water bearer, it's a human carrying this container of water, and so the water represents our emotions. So there's this emotional detachment with Aquarius energy. And so, it might not be the most emotional full moon that there ever was, where we're doing a big emotional purge. Definitely for some of us it probably will be, but not for everybody. But I do think that this emotional detachment will really help us with this full moon, because there's a lot going on at the same time of this full moon. With Aquarius energy, it really helps us to zoom out and see things from a different perspective and see things from this zoomed out perspective, really seeing the bigger picture. And so it's helping us to emotionally detach and kind of think about things without being clouded by our emotions, really. Or it's kind of we're looking at things through this more logistical lens, again, not being clouded by our emotions, where it's kind of this doesn't serve me anymore, so it's time to let it go. And as you let go of that thing that no longer serves you or is no longer aligned, it allows you to grab onto something that really kind of helps propel you more into the future, moving more in a direction that you want to move in. So there's a very liberating energy that comes with this full moon, but with that liberation comes an element of risk. And I talked about this in my YouTube video where I went into much greater detail, so be sure to click the link and check that out. But I talked about how as we're liberating ourselves, there is an element of risk, because we're releasing those things that kept us in our comfort zone, really. And with the comfort zone comes comfort, so we have to get a little uncomfortable with this full moon. And with that, we also have to become our authentic self. And so with authenticity also comes this element